We have accumulated a massive stash of watches over the 2+ years that I've been collecting. So we're going to kick off 2025 with some updates to the collection, updates to the channel, and even answer some GOAT community questions along the way. One of which might just prove a huge conspiracy theory to do with SKMEI branded watches. Plus, at the end of the video, I will be unboxing this vintage Darth Maul watch from the 1990s, so stick around. So let's kick things off with some of the mods and repairs that I've had to perform since my last update. And we're going to start with this awesome set of Casio rings. And one of the little repairs that I had to make is that I was wearing one of these cool rings. I think it was this Casiotron actually. And what happened is I was wearing it and I washed my hands in the water, guys. So what happened is the water actually got under this little mini acrylic screen and actually clouded it up. So I was really thankful because I remembered this solution I'd seen online. You've probably heard of it before, but you get some rice, right? So all I did is I just buried it in the rice for a day. Next day I took it out and all of the clouding was gone. So thank God for that. By the way, if you do want to see a full review of all of this watch ring collection, you can check that one out here. The next little modding tip I wanted to share with you is to do with this gorgeous Casio Bumblebee, okay? So let me show you what I'm talking about here. And it's actually to do with the alignment on the NATO strap. Now, if we lay this flat, you can see that it seems a little bit off center, as in it's a little bit lower than you would expect, right? And I just wanted to guide you guys that if you are putting a NATO strap on, because it is a bit of a pain to take it on and off, once you've done so, you can't really slide it with these watches. So I just wanted to let you know, make sure you put it down a little bit lower than you would expect, because once you actually put it on the wrist, the curvature of that actually centers it quite nicely. See how those sides are, they're even now? So yeah, just a little tip for you there. Now I will put it on the wrist to show you, and I've actually got a bit of a teaser here because check this out. None of you guys have seen this unless you're a member of the GOAT crew or the GOAT Reviews Discord. Check this out. I've been working on some mesh and like holographic screen mods. So I will have a full video tutorial coming out on how to do this. So do make sure you are a subscriber. Anyway, I'll get the Bumblebee on. You see what I mean? Perfect alignment and centering between those two positions. Next up is to do with screen protection. So as an example, I have my W217H and I don't actually have a appropriately sized protector. So I have accumulated a few little scratches here, but we are going to take care of them. One thing I've been absolutely loving lately, guys, is Polywatch. It's this inexpensive watch polish that you can just bang some onto a little, this is just a little cotton makeup pad, scrub it away in a few minutes. So that's really good. And the other thing that I've been really doubling down on is these screen protectors. So I found that the price of them has gone up a little bit. I'll leave a link to all of the tools and parts for you below, but I found that it's now the most economical to get the 10 pack. So that's what I've been doing. So I've got a ton of these AE 1200 protectors here and also the F91 protectors. And the reason now, even if you only have one watch that fits this, guys, I'd still recommend the 10 pack. And that's because when you're putting these on, I often find that like you'll accidentally get a bit of dust on there or it's not quite straight. So it's always good to have backups. And the other thing is, if one of your screen protectors does even get scratched, which has happened to me as well, you can just peel it off and add one of your many more. So I would highly recommend these. Anyway, these are for an F91, and I don't think they're quite the right size, but I would like to install one on here just to add a bit of protection. So let's go ahead and polywatch the scratches out of this lens first, and then we'll get one of these on. So I'm going to start a timer because you are supposed to do this for 2 to 3 minutes, I believe. Anyway, we just put a small dab on the screen there, like so. Going to start a timer, and we're just going to start polishing away. Alrighty, that's been 2 minutes and the scratches were quite light, so I reckon that should be more than enough. So let's just take that away with this cloth, and it is looking better, although we do still have, you see right there, actually there is quite a deep scratch there, so I'm going to polish that a little bit more. progress. All right, I reckon we've pretty much got it. Let's get rid of that. Did take a little bit longer than expected, guys, but it was deeper than I expected as well. Beautiful, look at that. Can't see the scratch anymore. So let's go and try a screen protector on it now. We're going to try one of the F91 size. As I said, it is not designed for this specific watch, but personally, guys, I just reckon so long as it's covering up most of the screen, I'm going to be pretty well happy. And the screen protectors do come with these little cleaning cloths as well. Didn't want to stick, maybe it's not fully dry. Okay, we're gonna have to try another one. I think I touched that when it was still wet. That's why you get the 10-pack, guys. We got plenty of spares. Guys, I am getting absolutely no adhesion to the surface now since we've done the poly watch. So this doesn't usually happen. I don't know what's going on. If anyone has any ideas, please do let me know in the comments below. Well, no screen protector for this bad boy, but at least we got all those scratches out with the poly watch. And speaking of screen protectors, on my two latest builds, guys, I have also put on a screen protector on each. And of course, I got the 10-pack of the AE1200 size, so really happy with these. Now, next up, it's the Sander Royale, or the 6133. Now, this one did have one of those AE1200 screen protectors installed. But guess what I found, guys? Because of these bull bars, it actually didn't sit right, and it made all of the corners of the screen protector peel up because of the pressure. So I have had to remove it because I do kind of like this bull bar, and I've just kind of had to face the fact that, you know, if it does get any scratches, I'll just have to hit it with some poly watch. And the final screen protector update is to do with this Casio A700W, and just look at how beautiful this thing is, one of my absolute favorites. But anyway, I did in fact install a screen protector on here, and it was a specific size just for this model. And it wasn't until somewhat recently that one of you guys left a comment saying, did you know that the A700W actually has a mineral glass lens? Now, I did not know that, and if I had, I wouldn't have bothered buying a screen protector. Typically, I'll only buy them for watches with a resin plastic lens because that really scratches easily, but I've actually never had a mineral glass like on these G-Shocks scratch the lens before, so no need to buy a protector for your A700W in my opinion. Now, these last three mod updates are all to do with straps, and we're going to start with this WS1700H. I absolutely love this watch, but to put a NATO strap on it, I needed some adapters. Now, I went through 2 or 3 different types of adapters trying to get this to work, and what I found is that each time I brought this to my volleyball games to test the strength, I'd have it on my wrist, I'd hit the ball, and one of these would blow out, right? So this thing sitting there swinging on one of its NATO strap adapters, so I was not happy. Now, what actually happened is the fellow who invented the backlight diffuser mod for the one that we used in the Bumblebee build video, which is here if you missed it, the guy who creates this and sells it on Etsy, he reached out to me and he said, Tim, I've got an idea. Could you test this for me on your WS1700H? It's some 3D printed adapters. Now, these aren't actually designed for this model. They're designed for the AE1500. Let me get that for you in a sec. Just here. So they're designed to fit this model here, but he said it's the same size. Do you want to test it for me? And I did, guys, and I have never looked back because not only do they fit and look amazing, but I've tested them at volleyball a few times now and it does not blow out. So I'm really happy with these. So a massive thank you to Larry Guo who sent me those adapters. And speaking of 3D printed adapters, a quick update to share with you guys on my GD350. You may remember we installed these 3D printed adapters from Sam's Watch Review in my 4 Easy Strap upgrades video. Well, since then, I have bought the perfect 24mm NATO strap, so I just wanted to show you how nicely that fits, because at the time we had to demo with a 22mm. So I'm really happy with how badass this watch looks now. Oh yeah. And finally, it is my DW6900 SP. This is a special edition G-Shock. Now look at the back. You see how it's got this subtle blue color here. When we installed this bezel and strap set, guys, this was like a bright blue. But it's just a testament to tell you that when you wear a transparent G-Shock strap and bezel, it will fade over time. Now, the original bezel and strap came with was fully transparent, and I actually kept it safely in the original box here. I have not looked at this since we opened it well over a year ago. But look at that. That's what it should look like. But I've been told by you guys that it will actually yellow over time if it's exposed to the sun, which is why I really wanted to keep it safe in its original pack. And I did buy that sort of blue version just there. So I'm not going to install that. What I've actually done, guys, is I've just gone ahead and purchased a new set. It was only about 10 Australian dollars of a transparent red. So I'm really looking forward to that when it arrives. I will be installing that, so make sure you're a subscriber so you don't miss that. And I'm really hoping that instead of like this blue one just fading to clear, I hope the red one doesn't fade to pink because I won't really be happy with that. Let's see how we go. And speaking of watch strap upgrades, I've actually got a favor to ask you guys because you could really help me out if you'd like to see me install a very cool NATO strap. So, Watch Crunch actually has a referral program, and if you manage to refer 8 people, they will send you a special striped Watch Crunch NATO strap. Now, I would love to get this thing. To do so, you need to have referred 8 people. So, if there's any of you out there who don't use Watch Crunch already, I would highly recommend it. If you would like to use it, please do use my link, which is genie.us/watchcrunch. It's completely free to join. The reason I use it is to post a daily wrist check photo every day. And it's a lot of fun. There's a big community there, and I've been building up a streak. I'm going for get this, there's a badge that you can earn for posting a whole year in a row of wrist checks, and I'm nearly there. So anyway, if you would like to help out, please join through my link and I'll see you there. Now let's get into some viewer questions. And our first question comes from Kelly Pinakos, who wants to know a loom update on this magnificent Casio Duro. So we're going to shut the lights off here. And additionally, I did also have my Borrowit V10, which we're going to use to charge this because it does have a UV light. So let's finish getting these off. So here you go, guys. That's the loom on the hands and dial just from the light, within the room. Okay, now let's use the Borrowit V10, which again, we did do a short video on this. So we're going to hit that 3 times and we've now got UV on. Oh man, look at that. You can already see how much that is glowing. Boy, oh boy. So after charging, boom, that's what you're looking at. Very powerful indeed. Our next question came from Dropkick Manga, who wanted an update on the U-Tour E30 after a few months, just to see if there were any residue building up within these little tracks. Now, for anyone who hasn't seen it, this is operated by these cool ball bearings, okay? So I'll leave a link for this watch for you below. But to answer your question, Dropkick, I mean, look, as you can see, there's not a whole lot of dirt or grime in there. I do try and keep it clean, but you do also get this little brush with the kit. So if you ever did get any dirt or grime in there, you could really just sort of brush that out. No issues there. So yeah, hope that answers your question. Now, this next question is not so much a question, but more of a warning. I was told by a viewer on one of my videos as a comment that this metal case upgrade that we installed on the Royale is made of, and I quote, Chinesium, and not to trust that it was made of stainless steel. Now, this user actually warned me that it's going to be, corroding just by being on my wrist, and it's so fake and all of this. And I told him, well, you know what? I'm actually going to be wearing this on Christmas Day into the swimming pool, and he warned me against it. He said, if you wear this into the pool, by New Year's, it is going to be cooked. So I said, you know what? I'm going to test it. And I did. So here it is, guys. I wore this into the swimming pool. And I tell you what, I was even a bit cheeky. I played a game with some of the people. I was literally starting and stopping timers while we were in the pool as part of a game. So I was pressing these buttons while it was, with all salt and chlorine and all. Guess what, guys? I don't see any damage to the case. So I guess it really is stainless steel and not the Chinesium, as was mentioned. Next up, I have 2 questions from Fratellini, a long-time viewer. The first question of his is about my collection and how I order them. Do I have some kind of a logical order? Well, to answer that, originally I had my collection ordered based on the order that I acquired the watches, right? And that really made a lot of sense to me, and it was nice and easy for me to grab watches, okay? Since then, I've changed it a bit. So I've got all of my primo favorite watches in this military style watch box, which is an absolutely magnificent. This is my favorite, my best watch box ever, by the way. I've done a full review on this one. You can check out here. But this is like the creme de la creme of all of my watches in there. And I try and group by brand as well. So all of my SKMEI watches are just here. But I've kind of realized it is still a bit confusing for me to like. Sometimes I'll be like, I want to wear this today. Where is it? And then I'm fumbling around looking for it. So I'm probably going to reorder this again, guys. And I might do so shortly because I've got a bit of a surprise coming up. So stay tuned. Now, Fratellini's second question is to do with the SKMEI 2091. Now, some of you may know that this is a homage of the Casio, okay? Now, his question is, does the SKMEI 2091 use 2 batteries? Because apparently the original non-solar version of the Casio does. So, Fratellini, to answer that, my friend, I'm going to open this up for you because I'd certainly be very surprised if this thing had 2 batteries. Let's find out. There it is. We're probably going to need to take out the module to get a closer look. Oh, hang on a minute. Wait, is that a after batter replacement? Oh my God, that is not good English. Is that supposed to be a stack of 2 batteries, guys? I can't even tell. Is it? Okay, let's take it out. Let's take this module out. This is a absolutely thick module. Maybe he's right. Maybe there is 2 batteries in here. How do we find out? I'm gonna have to take this sticker up. Oh yeah. Okay. Moment of truth, guys. How many batteries? Just 1 single battery. So there's your answer, Fratellini. Thanks for the question. What's this? The watch is telling you to sub or to subscribe to Goat Reviews. You heard it here. Now, I want you to brace yourself for this one, guys, because here is the major conspiracy theory against SKMEI watches. I've got 4 of which here that we can test this on, but basically, here it is. I received an email from Rob, who let me know that throughout all of his testing, he was unable to get the stopwatch to land on exactly 10 seconds, which is something I often do in my videos. The interesting thing is that he wasn't not only able to stop it on 10 seconds, but that it always landed on a multiple of 3 milliseconds, okay? Or 3 microseconds, I believe someone has said. Now, what that means is that this watch is lying about the stopwatch. Let's give it a test, okay? So I'm going to try and nail this. You guys know me, I'm a bit of a pro at this, okay? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 85. Is that a multiple of 0.03? Let's try to cheat this. Ready? 998. So now this is lining up with what he said, guys. If what he's saying is true, so remember 998, that may be as close as you can get. So I think you can only do this or 1001. Okay, ready? 1001 plus 3 is 1004 plus 3 is 1007. He may be onto something. Give me a moment. I'm going to check on Rob's email and see exactly what he said. All right, I've just had another quick look at the email. Let's reset the stopwatch because we don't have to go all the way up to 10 seconds. If we just try and stop it around 1 second. So 97, so 3 centiseconds away. 110, that's, no. Okay, so that's busted. For the SKMEI 1412, completely busted. All right, and what about this one? Let's reset this. Okay, 101, 107. So that would make sense. That's a multiple of 3. 14. Nah, that's busted on this one. Okay, let's try the SKMEI 1628. Let's reset that. Okay, 93, 102, 108, That's again a multiple of 3 that's been added. 17. Yep, that's added 9. Guys, on the SKMEI 1628, this might be for real. This might be legit. 99. Guys, this this is absolutely confirmed. The SKMEI 1628 can only stopwatch on multiples of 3, which means you will never be able to land this on exactly 1 second. What a scam. Thank you, Rob, for shedding light on this huge conspiracy theory. That is absolutely crazy. But yeah, if you have any models of SKMEI that we haven't tested, guys, please test and let me know below. Is the scam true? Can you only stop in multiples of 3? Love to hear your thoughts. Bubble is here to remind you to ram that like button. Aren't you, Bubble? Yes, you are. Good girl. Because now, coming up, we are about to get into some new tool recommendations. Yes, Bubble, that's right. Good girl. Yes. The first new tool that we picked up and used was this little case back remover tool. It was very inexpensive and very handy for removing the case back of my Humpbuck Rebel Pilot, which we weren't able to do without it. So a very handy little pickup. The next tool that I would highly recommend is because I made a mistake, guys. In the video where we swapped the modules between the Royale and the WS1700, you see these internal faceplates just here, guys? So when I was fumbling around inside these, I was using this pair of cross-lock tweezers, which, mind you, I absolutely love this tool. However, it was not the correct tool for the job, for you see, they are made of metal, and I inadvertently scratched the inside of these lenses a little bit when I was taking out these faceplates. Okay, so since then I have acquired for the next time I do a job similar, this set of rubber tweezers. Now I do have some cross-lock version of the tweezers here as well, as you can see, and I think this is going to be a hell of a lot safer when I'm going to be touching the inside of a lens. The next 3 inexpensive tools I'd recommend is this little magnetic screw tray, which I've been finding very useful when I'm taking apart modules and also when I've been learning how to do the LCD mods. Speaking of which, I also found this little iSesame spudger tool, I guess. Very handy for getting under the protectors if you wanted to remove them, and also under the parts of the LCD, you can just kind of scrape that up. Really recommend this. And finally, it's this little spring bar pliers tool. Now, I will say this isn't appropriate for all models of watches, but it is pretty cool to have to be able to undo your spring bars too at the same time. I'll leave a link to everything that you've seen here and all the watches for you in the description below. And finally, it's my most recommended inexpensive tool of the year. It's this stainless steel spring bar sorting box. And guys, I can't even begin to explain how useful this is. You've got all of your different sizes here, making any size spring bar completely accessible, okay? And it's just saved me so much time. Now, the one caveat is that you do want to have a rubber band installed, because you can only imagine how much a pain in the ass it would be if you were to accidentally... Shit! Gotcha. Just kidding. That was a decoy spring bar box. Here's my real one right here, guys. Whew, that would have been a real pain in the ass. That gag cost me about $5, but it was well worth it. Gotcha. All right, now it's time for some announcements to do with the channel, and I'm keen to have a bit of transparency with you guys here. So you may have noticed that the Watch of the Week series that I run hasn't been based on voting anymore. If you'll remember, I used to get you guys to pick between 2 watches, and that would be the one that I'd review. So why this change? So it actually started with my first sponsored watch review, the U-Tour E30, the one that we took a look at earlier. Pretty cool. But because this was a sponsored review, I had to put this watch up next without polling it, as it was time sensitive. And what actually happened is this review ended up getting delayed, and then I had to choose another watch since there wasn't an active poll. And I just had to kind of pick myself which one I thought would be best. And then I started really kind of appreciating the freedom of being able to pick what I thought was best. And I had some, like, like I picked the A158 to review, for example. The reason I picked it is because there's a logical order that I've got in my head that kind of makes sense. Okay, so like I've got an A168 in my backlog. Obviously, I don't want to review that before I've reviewed the predecessor, the A158. So you know, it just kind of makes more sense to me. So, look, I'm asking you guys to continue to trust me with my choices. I'm going to try and be optimal and get through some of my watch backlog this year in an order that makes sense while sprinkling in a few unexpected treats along the way. So, stay tuned. And maybe sometimes I might let the Goat Crew channel members help choose between some watches if I really can't decide. But anyway, as you can see, my backlog of watches is still growing, though it is at a slower rate as money is pretty tight right now. So I am still acquiring them, but I do need to focus on producing more Watch of the Week episodes to get through my backlog. But yeah, the best way that you guys can support me is by using the affiliate links that I leave for you in the description if you ever want to buy any of the watches or tools that I show you, as it provides me with a small sales commission at no extra cost to you. And if not, guys, just your viewership and engagement in the comments is more than enough already. So thank you so much for being part of the GOAT community. But anyway, hopefully my workload to get videos out will be easier this year if I manage to get and secure an editor, which, if I'm lucky, might be editing this very video you're watching as a trial. So let me know in the comments what you think of the editing of this video. And for the final announcement, let's talk about happiness. So, real talk, guys, I had the realization last year that I am at my absolute happiest and most fulfilled when I have a new watch on my wrist that I am reviewing for Watch of the Week. I'm serious. My 10 out of 10 days in life are when I feel refreshed with a new watch on my wrist, and I'm also feeling productive because I'm reviewing it for you guys. So, another Watch of the Week will be coming soon. Make sure you're a subscriber so you don't miss it. And remember, guys, while I have been focusing mainly on watch content, I do also like to occasionally cover other cool gadgets and upgrades, especially things that offer high value for the price. So these are the topics that really excite me, like my recent lightsaber review. Check this out, guys. If you haven't seen it, you definitely got to check out my review of this thing. Absolute beast, okay? But yeah, another cool thing is that over Christmas dinner, someone asked me how I would rate my year on a scale from 1 to 10, and we all kind of went around the table answering. And personally, guys, I would say my year has been an 8 out of 10. Very solid. I'm happy with the way the channel's been growing, and I've been spending more time with my wife. So overall, I'm feeling very grateful. But how was your year? What would you rate your 2024 on a scale from 1 to 10? And if you wouldn't mind, let us know why. I'd love to hear your thoughts below. Now it's time for some unboxings. And just before we unbox the 90's Darth Maul watch, which I know you're as excited as I am to unbox, I have another little surprise for you. It's a brand new watch box that I found on Amazon for a great price. And as a little bit of backstory, those of you who have seen my other collection updates, you'll know how much I hate this watch box. Every time I open it, it pisses me off. It's got this, look, this broke recently as well, so it can't even. Oh, anyway, I'm over it. So I only use this as a last resort. We're going to be migrating the watches from in there over to this one, which will hopefully be somewhat decent. So let's crack into it. Oh, yes, not bad. Alrighty, let's take a look. So it's looking pretty good. Oh, yeah, got it. Oh, yes, I like that. Guys, check out this hinge. Look at that. That's actually going to be secure and hold it up. And it's not that flappy old piece of string, which, to be honest, when you close your box, it kind of flaps over your collection. So happy with that. The cushions look to be a decent size. I like it when the cushions are a little bit small because obviously, like for example, let's use this SKMEI that I've modded recently. Some of the watch cushions, they're just a bit too large. Like this one should be able to, yeah, so I can fit the buckled watch on there. So check that out. That's looking pretty good. And the reason I got this as well is because it does have a drawer. So check it out. You know, my collection's expanding quite quickly. So I wanted one that's actually got 2 layers. All right. Now, obviously, the trade-off here, guys, is that not all of my watches, my beautiful collection, can be on display. Some of them are going to have to be tucked away in here. But hey, I'm happy to test this out. And I look forward to using this watch box, and I'll provide an update to you once I've done so for a bit of time. Oh yes, now it's time to finally unbox this vintage collectible Darth Maul watch from the 1990s. Now I know what some of you are thinking. Tim, no, it's a collector's item, please don't open it. Too bad. We're cracking into it. I want to wear this thing sometimes, all right? The box is already a little bit broken, so I don't think we're going to even need to... Let's just... get... Oh. Oh, yes. Okay, first things first, look at this. This is a... Oh, it's even got a... That's cool. I don't know why it's got a... Can you imagine carrying this around on your belt like a keychain? My goodness. Okay, this looks absolutely real for the movies of the Darth Maul lightsaber. So this is actually a display box, I guess. Look at this. See, this is the replica lightsaber that I showed you guys earlier. Oh yeah, look at that. It's got the buttons. This thing looks absolutely spot on. And you would hope so. I'll give you a quick look at the back in case anyone wants to see that. But yeah, so what do? You display it. Oh, you twist it and then you pull it up and you can put the watch in. So let's take a look at the watch itself. Here it is. As you can see, oh, I did not know it. Look at this. It's it's got it's got the full hilt there. That is so cool. I honestly did not know it had that. You got Darth Maul's face there. What an absolute badass. This strap, oh look, Star Wars logo there. It's actually, look, the strap is like it's dressed up as Darth Maul. That's really cool. Now, still hasn't gone all sticky. That looks pretty good for something from the 90s. Lucasfilm, 1999. Now, obviously, to access the time, we're going to have to... Actually, I don't want to break this. How does this... Surely it just flips open. Let's consult the box. What does it say? Okay, so you flip it up from his chin. Okay, let's try. There you go. Boom, look at that. Darth Maul. And it's got like his face tattoos around the inside. That is super, super cool. So I'm presuming that as well, maybe are these the adjust buttons? I don't know. Anyway, I'm probably going to have this, like I'll wear it occasionally, but I'm probably going to have it on display. So how do we do this? Twist this. Ah, yes. Get out of here. And then we lower it in. Oh yeah, look at how badass that is. Ooh, I cannot wait to get this on display in my collectibles cabinet. Hope you've enjoyed the bonus, guys. Please like the video. Okay, check this out. So you're actually supposed to hang the watch off there and then kind of lower it into the display case. So, that makes a bit more sense. That looks much, much better. And also, I just figured out there's 4 to collect. So, maybe one of you out there wants to get yourself a Jar Jar. A massive thank you to our Goat Crew channel members for supporting the channel. You absolute legends. Here's a link if you'd like to join us. Here's my other collection updates playlist, so you can see how things have grown over the last 2 years. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next review.